There are 4 aspects of image reproduction that must play out if a child must become fully grown and responsible. Number 1 is the mental image reproduction. Number 2 is the physical image reproduction. Number 3 is the psychosocial image reproduction. And number 4 is the spiritual image reproduction. And so every child must be raised to know their gender. A male child should talk like a male, act like a male, do things like a male. No child who has a mental perverted image of his gender grows up to become very responsible and fulfill the destiny that God has. You see, a lot of cartoon networks out there that are promoting same-sex marriage. And when you catch them, it becomes difficult to get them divorced from such a mental image. In many societies today, homosexuality and lesbianism are now being legalized. And the amazing part of it, or the unfortunate part of it, is that when these people get married, they adopt children into such homes. And they pervert the image of these children. It's a child the way you want him to become as an adult. We must fight for the destinies and the mental image of our children. You must reproduce your nature in your children. You must pay attention to the physical image reproduction. When man fell, God didn't fail in his parental responsibilities towards man. He went further to clothe man with the resources available at that realm. That is the earthly realm. So from childhood, you raise your children in such a way that their dressing is decent and such as is compatible with a sane society, with the culture of the day, with what is considered moderate and decent. Let them reflect us. Let them reflect our values. Let them reflect our culture, if need be. Let them reflect godliness. Let them reflect the image of God. Sag, ladies wearing transparent dresses, and a lot of other ungodly ways of appearing. But you see, we ought to be on the lookout for the way our children appear. But before they get to that level, we are supposed to build in them the ideal culture of dressing, the ideal norm, what is expected of them. Let them know that this is the right way to dress and this is the wrong way. And so even when they get to mingle with people in society, with friends and all that, peer pressure, that inbuilt instruction and teaching will moderate their lifestyle, no matter how they want to go. The scripture talking about training said, train a child in the way he should go, and when he grows up, he will not depart. The enemy may want to sway him, but it becomes almost impossible because you have imbued in that child a structure. So dressing should be a pattern, a way. Let it be decent, let it be nice, let it be smart, let it be good. Even color combination. Let them know that this color should go with this color and all that, because I've seen adults who don't know how to dress. The psychosocial image reproduction is another key aspect. So in other words, it's reflecting the love of the Father. It said, my peace I give you. So if he doesn't have peace, he wouldn't give it. So parents are supposed to create an atmosphere of love and peace in their homes. Children should be raised in an atmosphere of love and peace. Children should not be raised in an atmosphere of violence and conflict. Children should not be raised in a tense atmosphere. It instills fear and anxiety in them. That's number one consequence of that. Number two, they become emotionally bankrupt. Because when there is no love in the atmosphere, there is no flow of emotions. Number three, they become violent. You see, you cannot give what you don't have. No child who is raised in a violent environment goes out there to become peaceful. He gives out what he sees. He reflects the image of the parents. And children have a way of amplifying what they see. So let us pay the price and ensure our atmosphere is cool and peaceful. Even in discipline, the Bible said, let discipline be in love. Children will always reflect love outside when they see love inside. They will reflect peace outside when they see peace inside. They will grow up to become peaceful and loving parents when their parents are peaceful and loving. When you see emotionally unstable children, it's because they have been denied that warmness and emotion from the parents. The father is coming back, the child is afraid. The mother is around, the child is not at peace. There is no show of love. There is no flow of love in the home. Everybody, the father is fighting the mother is fighting the father. It's flowing down to the children. There is no way that child will become a peaceful and a loving person. Everything you want to do should be from the background of love. You want discipline because you are angry. And when we raise children in a tense atmosphere, we open the door to the enemy, to the devil. Because when the children become emotionally unstable or they become emotionally bankrupt, they try to seek the emotion from external sources. They go outside to seek for these emotions. And it becomes riskier for even females. Because they're not looking for emotional compensation. So they can fall into the hands of any person. They can fall into any hands. That's why you see ladies jumping from one relationship to the other, because they are trying to look for emotions that their parents didn't give them, love that their parents didn't show them. So the fourth is the spiritual image reproduction. As parents, no matter how well we try, we are still imperfect in our ways, because we keep learning. We're trying to be like the master. Spiritual image reproduction is one aspect that makes up for our inadequacies as parents. There are things we don't know. Spiritual image reproduction helps to guide our children into their originality, their true identity in God. He knows their future. He knows their intentions. He knows their proclivities, their tendencies. Everything about them is written in His presence. Imagine a child knowing that he's fearfully and wonderfully made. Or a girl child knowing that she's fearfully and wonderfully made. She will not be seeking for affirmation from people outside. She knows what the Bible is saying. And it doesn't matter what any other person is saying. When your child has this mentality, it becomes impossible to get that child defeated in the race of life. That is why spiritual image reproduction is a pivot that directs every other aspect. So if our children must become balanced adults, and if we must reproduce what God has placed in us, we may not be the perfect image, but when we play along this path, we reproduce in them what God intends. So we should be on the lookout for their mental image identity, their physical image identity, their psychosocial image identity, and then their spiritual image identity. And when we have done this, I believe that God Himself will perfect all that we are doing. Thank you for staying tuned. I hope you were enriched. See you in our next episode. God bless you.